Lewis Award.
Kia ora, Mr Speaker, tēnā koutou katoa. Manako hoki ki Aotearoa tātou All Blacks. Welcome home. It is my pleasure to speak on this, the second reading of the Radiation Safety Bill as a member of the Health Select Committee. And I just want to reiterate some of the sentiments that our Chair Simon O'Connor has shared about how well our committee gets on, how collaborative it is. And actually this bill was really interesting because the main focus actually was about radiation and whether this bill actually should include non-ionising radiation, and in fact whether we should have renamed this bill the Ionising Radiation Safety Bill. What I really want to highlight is just some of the comments that have already been made, that this bill will repeal and replace the Radiation Protection Act of 1965, so it's a long time that we upgraded and updated this bill to enable New Zealand to meet its international obligations relating to radiation protection, radiation safety and security, nuclear non-proliferation and a range of international treaties my colleague Annette King articulated earlier. The bill also provides that radiation use may occur only where the expected benefit outweighs the risks. And actually I want to focus on that sentiment for a while. Radiation and ionising radiation is radiation consisting of particles, X-rays or gamma rays with significant energy to cause ionisation. Now, for people who don't know, and we've had to do a lot of looking up in the committee to understand what that actually means, ionisation means that the medium through which those X-rays, gamma rays, etc. passes actually acquires either a positive or negative charge. And I think the significance of that particular definition and us deciding that this bill was actually just about ionising radiation is because we know that ionising radiation causes leukemia, it causes cancers like lung cancer, skin cancer, bone cancer. And so actually what this bill is trying to do is to ensure that, as I said before, radiation use may occur only where the expected benefit outweighs the risk. And so the intention of this bill is to ensure that exposures are kept as low as reasonably achievable, that prescribed dose limits must not be exceeded, that all reasonable steps to ensure safety must be taken, and that the likelihood of an emergency must be minimised through planning and preventing unauthorised access to radiation sources. So that's what this bill is trying to achieve. And I think the preoccupation that some of us had about the difference between ionising and non-ionising actually was coupled with the fact that our Select Committee has been looking at the Health Protection Amendment Bill. That was a piece of legislation that we've considered earlier, but within the scope of the Health Protection Amendment Bill, there's quite a big focus on ultraviolet tanning services, or sunbeds. And the decision that our Select Committee made in our support of that particular legislation was to ban sunbed use for under 18-year-olds. Why did we do that? We did that because based on the evidence, it's actually unsafe. We don't want to put under 18-year-olds at risk. And so it does actually overlap with this radiation safety bill, because I'll go back to my original point in terms of the purpose of this bill. Radiation use may occur only where the expected benefit outweighs the risk. And so for some of us, trying to, I guess, marry up those two pieces of legislation that were before our Select Committee, trying to understand the difference between ionising and non-ionising actually was because we were trying to understand why in the Health Protection Amendment Bill, Mr Speaker, we've only banned UV tanning services for under 18-year-olds. Because the overwhelming evidence that we heard from submitters in that piece of legislation before our Select Committee was that they should be banned to all irrelevant of age. And so we thought that if non-ionising actually was part of this radiation safety bill, then in fact, based on radiation use may occur only where the expected benefit outweighs the risk, could be another area where we could highlight the fact that actually we think, as the other members of the Select Committee and the opposition, that sunbed use should be banned for everybody. And so we weren't able to make that link. We were quite clear now on the distinction. I think there's still some merit in calling this the ionising radiation safety bill, so everyone is clear. But we are yet to, I think, fully explore that option. Obviously, through the committee stage, there may be an opportunity for us to propose a supplementary order paper. But the debate that we've had within the committee, I think, has been incredibly robust. I too would like to thank the officials and the level of expertise that was provided to our Select Committee so that some of us could understand what this bill was trying to achieve. I think that we've managed to achieve that, Mr Speaker. I think that where we've come to in terms of this piece of legislation now means that, as my colleague Annette King has said, we will support this piece of legislation. So I won't take much more time because we've got a Health Select Committee meeting at 10 o'clock. So nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Mr Speaker. Thank you, Mr Speaker. It's a pleasure to be taking a call and speaking on this second reading of the radio.